All right, welcome to this great podcast. It's another dark one because our power is out again, but it's gonna be a great one.
That's actually good
definitely.
because we're all pretty much naked right now because
It's so fucking hot.
the AC is not.
It's fucking Las Vegas.
But anyway, we have across from me we have Mike,
What's up?
and then next to him and me we have Big Dean.
What's up?
Yeah,
Hola.
and then Maggie's over in the background
Yeah,
laying.
I thought somewhere back there.
She's laying back there because it's cooler there than it is upstairs.
We're just all gonna have one big slumber party
That's it.
down here.
So
drinking here, guys. Taking a
What are we
sip
drinking
of
today?
beer. So actually, I bought some Corona Premiers. It's just like Corona Light, but a little less calories. I was thinking I bought it because it's a little more calorie friendly, I guess, than most beers. And I was trying to stick to some kind of regimen, and I was like, maybe I should stick with it on beer as well. But then this weekend went a little hard in the paint and ate quite a bit. But I mean, we're getting back on it this week, so been on this kind of like food regimen, kind of eating healthy and stuff like that. But I got cheat days. You gotta have some kind of cheat day.
Yeah, right.
I remember I went. I started really, really working out hard in January, and it wasn't until maybe the last week of February that I allowed myself like one cheat day, and it was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It was Chick-fil-A and a bottle of Mountain Dew, and I had to like quit soda for like a whole month. God, dude, that was the best tasting food.
It's just so good.
It's just, but you realize how, like, if you eat a lot of shit, like, if you eat like bad food, when you start eating clean, you really notice it though. I mean, it takes a while, but then like once you get like in full gear, you notice it.
For like energy wise.
Yeah, energy wise, you feel a lot better.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. If it feels like I'm a lot more smooth. I'm not like kind of like, I don't know, grinding through my days sometimes. I've noticed that when I like eat healthy, my stool is a lot healthier.
Yeah, boy.
But it feels like I take a lot of the nutrients in versus like certain things when I eat. It just goes right through me.
And it's a lot of processed food.
Yeah, a lot of the processed food.
I mean, I think that's the worst thing is processed food, right?
And like I can tell the most when I'm waking up in the morning. Like I just feel myself just not wanting to get up when I've known I've had like a bad day by drinking like too much and like hard beer and stuff like that. Like an IPA, which is quite a bit of calories, and then like eating like just it would be like deep fried food or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I just tell, I don't want to do anything after that. But like chicken and rice, it's just water. Like man, I feel good the day after. It feels good, man.
I was reading recently that people are doing this diets now where they buy stuff with that has no processing whatsoever in it. So when they buy it, the expiration date is probably like 3 or 4 days because there's nothing in it that's going to keep it from going bad.
Also, you got to eat like right
Yeah,
away.
so they eat it right away, but then they know they're not eating processed food. But it'd be really hard to do because you'd be buying stuff every day because you couldn't stockpile anything.
Yeah.
Because it would go too quickly,
Yeah, because before there was preservatives. There was what they used was just salt.
Salt.
Yeah.
That's when you get your high ass blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Salt.
And then finally they came with some kind of idea of preservatives, and then things started lasting a lot longer, having freezers and stuff. And I don't know, man.
But the upside back then is we work hard, but I think back then it was more manual labor. Stuff we take for granted now. Back then, my mom told me that her grandma, I think my great grandma, would eat lard shit out of the pan after making pork chops. And you think of that now, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. But
yeah, you'd be killing yourself.
But they had a farm, and they really had no machines, so everything was done by hand. So, they're probably working that all off on a daily basis.
Speaking of salt, I don't know. I'm guessing this is a Mexican thing. I don't know, Mike, but do you guys have like? Because I know, like with my mom, like my aunt, and pretty much any like Mexican side of my family, they'll have a cup, and that's where they'll have all the salt. And then you just grab it with your hand and you just pinch it with your fingers, and that's what you put instead of a salt shaker.
That doesn't sound too familiar for me. Just something on the side.
Just something like it could be like on a table, like my dad always makes fun of it, but he calls it like sal de mano. So you just grab the salt with your hand, like everyone's like putting salt on there.
No, not too. I know that my mom used a lot of salt in her food for like the majority of her food.
Yeah, I think
Like whenever she showed us like some of the some of the instructions or ingredients on how to make her food, like I would just sit there and be like, that much salt, huh? That much? It's like, let's cut that in half. We try and it's like, oh, it just doesn't taste
Doesn't
good.
taste right. Yeah,
It's like she had it right. She had it that way for a reason.
I know.
Like my grandpa would he would get his food, and he would just grab the salt, and just like it would be a thing where like I would just stare at him like, damn, dude, like, how's your blood pressure doing?
Yeah,
because
man.
he would just like, and I remember him doing that when I was maybe like 13, 12 years old, and he did it for a long time, and surprisingly, his blood pressure was all right. He didn't have problems with blood pressure.
I don't know what it is, man. It's strange to think that because when we were growing up, we used lard. My mom used to use lard for cooking, a lot of her cooking, and then I guess I don't know if someone just told her that hey, that's probably not the healthiest to be cooking with, and she started using vegetable oils and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, growing up, that's what we were using.
Well, you know what I noticed, even here at buffets and stuff, you watch people eat, and there's a lot of people that will get a plate from the buffet and they put salt and pepper on it. But I was never raised that way. But I see a lot of people do that. Oh, that's why there's always salt and pepper on the table, because people need. But I'm like,
someone wants to add some.
It's just I don't like. To me, if it's already most of the stuff we cook probably has salt in it.
Yeah.
Even Gatorade has salt in it, so and it's one of those. I've never had the urge to be like, oh, just need some salt and pepper. I don't know where that came from. I need to do some research and find out why people want salt and pepper. Why there's not paprika on the table?
You know what's weird? Well, it might just go back into back probably by the Middle Ages when the trade routes were all focused on getting spices and things from
spice.
Because I know, salt can be found mostly anywhere. Salt to preserve food, but pepper was something that they'd have to, it was kind of a rare commodity.
Oh no, of course.
And that's what you know what when it comes to food, I won't put any salt, but I will put pepper. I'll put pepper on.
I like pepper. Pepper's good, but no, I can't. I've seen people that put pepper in their ketchup.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
I do that. Yeah.
See, and I've never even thought of doing something like that. Sometimes I don't even eat Sometimes when I get food from Five Guys or something like that, I'll just eat my burger and fries. I don't even eat ketchup.
Uh-huh.
But people are no, that's a necessity, man. You gotta have some kind of sauce or something like that in order to do that.
And it's weird because I love barbecue sauce more than ketchup, so I prefer that on fries, on sandwiches.
Barbecue sauce, huh?
It just.
I've noticed that. I've seen you eat with barbecue sauce.
Yeah, if I make a sandwich instead of mayo, just put barbecue sauce on it.
Instead of mayo.
Speaking of speaking of foods and everything, I know Tony, you don't partake, but if you guys watched last week's episode, I don't know if you could tell, but I was fucking high. I hadn't smoked since December.
We were pretty baked.
We were. Well, I don't know how high you were, Mike, but I was there. I was pretty high. But I think you were coherent though. I think you can control it. See, the problem with me is I can never control my high. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I got very paranoid, and then I got paranoid of the fact that I was paranoid. So it was nah, I don't think it's good for me. But the one thing I do like about when you smoke is the munchies.
Oh yeah,
that is the best. So what is
which is strange because I haven't been smoking a whole lot, but when I do, I haven't really gotten the munchies in a while, and I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know if it just doesn't hit me enough anymore because I feel like I'm pretty coherent when I'm high, but one time we ordered Teriyaki Madness, which is a place here in Vegas that's just fucking delicious. Just delicious when I'm sober. Uh-huh. And we ordered it Postmates one day when we smoked, and oh man, it was probably the best meal I've had in months.
Oh,
man, it was
dude.
so good. It's delicious.
I revert back to a 9-year-old where I gotta have Starburst, and Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew. I live up to that stereotype because the way I've always looked at Mountain Dew, there's two people who drink it, and one is Tony always likes to remind me is dirty white kid juice. So it's it just reminds me dirty little white kids, and rednecks. Too. Rednecks partake in Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
I think there's more than just those two. I think
No.
In Johnstown, I remember there was quite a selection of people that just enjoy Mountain Dew. I personally don't like that soda. Just like Dr. Pepper. I think I just don't. Those are the two sodas I don't like. But people, there was people in Johnstown that seemed to love. Like that's all they would buy was just Mountain Dew. Oh,
yeah.
2 liter Mountain Dew. 2 liter Mountain Dew.
I love Mountain Dew, dude.
But like you're always gonna see a Mountain Dew sponsorship at like a monster truck rally or
NASCAR,
bikes.
Yeah. Or you have the gamers.
No, that's like
Gamers and
gamers are very
gamers kind of coincide with stoners, and it's just.
That's true.
But fuck, dude, I love Mountain Dew. I'm ashamed to say this though, but I for a while I was like super addicted to soda, to the point where like a 12 pack.
You're in denial. That's not a thing.
A 12 pack would last me maybe a day and a half. Like one day I kept track. I'm ashamed to say this. I feel like those heroin addicts who are like, man, I ain't proud of this, but I used to suck some wild dick for my hit. I'm not proud of this, but I would drink maybe like 9 Mountain Dews cans like in a day.
That's not hard to do though.
No, but
on my day off, I can probably do it.
It's so bad for you, dude. It's so bad.
I hate myself when I drink 2 a day. Man.
Yeah.
I try to keep myself to just one, because it's hard. Sometimes there's fucking Coke in that fridge right there, and you just want to pop one open and drink it. It's tough.
Because then they had 4 before I went to bed.
Before you went to bed,
Yeah.
that's 4 cans of caffeine you drank, and then you put yourself to sleep.
Yeah, because I just go to sleep.
Well, then tell me, like, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you feel like you've gotten a good night?
It depends. If I go to bed and get 8 hours of sleep during the night, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the healthiest person in the world. So sometimes I wake up in the morning just feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I'm not a healthy person. Like
why not? Why don't you just you don't like?
I mean, you go to the gym, you work out, you swim.
I don't know. It just boils down to some of it's just me being lazy.
Yeah,
it's so quick to order a pizza. It's so quick to go to McDonald's. It's so quick to
That's
do.
True.
Because I can't blame it on anything else. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, it's genetics or it's just straight up.
Yeah, a lot of it's just motivation.
Yeah,
and you know what? That in mind, like I'm telling you, when you start eating healthier, like your motivation also starts getting better. So like your hold on like doing that week of eating healthy, it gets better the more you start doing it, because like you're like, well, I can do it now. It's kind of gonna be, and the more you do it, it becomes a habit. Yeah. But like, when you're eating all that processed food and drinking all that soda, like eventually, like you're so like your body is just like it's not running on anything that's good for it. It's just like, oh fuck, I can't get myself to do something like that or do something like this.
And get out of a can of Coke.
I mean, but you know what? Also, like I know it's sometimes I don't want to say it's comforting, but I mean, it's good sometimes to like I get home from work, just want to put on some YouTube and drink a little fucking dirty white boy juice.
And I get that because like. I'd rather it's probably I don't even know if it's healthier, but it's probably better to drink a soda than a beer.
No, actually, no. I think a beer might
be healthier.
But I know wine is probably the healthiest. So everyone said like if you have a glass of wine.
Well, didn't they just put out a report that those are, like people were saying there was a good like an okay amount of beer, and now some report came out and said there's no such thing as the right amount of alcohol. Alcohol's just bad. You shouldn't drink any alcohol.
I don't know, man.
I think anything because. Anything with sugar is just bad because our body was not made to process as much sugar as we do, and like there's sugar in everything.
What about like the sugars in fruits though?
We're not supposed to.
Even the sugar fruits, like orange juice, like look at that.
Oh, it's not. Is it caramel?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. Oh my god! I didn't even notice. But like even they even said like apple juice or orange juice, like there's way too much sugar in those kind of drinks than there even should be. They say actually that it's almost about as much as a soda or even more.
Well, I know like you're when it comes to fruits, when people do smoothies or like they blend it, they get pissed off because they're not losing any weight or anything, but it's because your body processes the fruit in a different way when it's blended than it does when you eat it. When you eat it whole, like when you eat it whole, it's a lot better for you.
Yeah. Well, when I went to the doctor one time and I was just like, I'm gonna start eating healthier, eating better, he was like, stay away from fruit. It's bad for you because there's just so much sugar in fruit. And I think it just boils down that we at one point were just animals that were eating meat. And we just kind of adapted to eating fruits and vegetables, but that's not really who we are. We're still just a meat kind of.
No, I don't believe that because there's so much nutrients in vegetables that you just won't get in meat. You just won't get it. There's a lot of nutrients. Like all the vitamins that you even in your the multivitamins, like all those are probably just coming out of a vegetable or out of some kind of like plant. But like what I thought was crazy though is you guys remember that fucking the pyramid they used to sell when we were growing up?
Oh yeah. And then they said it was all wrong.
And like they come to find out like the bottom was all grains. You remember how the fucking like breads and stuff like that was like the biggest one? Come to find out like that's probably the worst for you.
Yeah. Which I mean, I think it all comes down to moderation though. I mean like
of course, does. Yeah.
You can eat like all that kind of, I mean, because shit, dude, I love apples. I'll go through a whole thing of apples.
I love bananas.
Yeah, bananas. I had a couple of bananas.
No, it's all right. You do it, man. Because sometimes I just won't finish it before they go bad. Man, all this beer.
Oh, my nose is all running. Dude, that California weather really fucked me over, man.
No. Some of those fruits, man. I'll eat apples. I'll eat bananas. I know like probably like 4 apples probably isn't good for me to have in a day, but I mean, a good apple.
And then we were talking about this earlier though, but because I told you like I had stopped taking creatine. Well, I haven't been taking creatine as normal like as I have been, and I have noticed like the effects. Like I feel weaker.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm getting like the extra like it's. I mean, it's not. I'm going through my workouts with like the same intensity, but I just feel weaker. I don't feel like
I felt it too when I got up, and right now I'm not on it. I haven't been taking it recently. I've just been doing protein, just to see where I am, physically, because I'm not going to be on creatine the rest of my life. You know, like.
But I mean, you can though. I mean, it's not.
You could. It's not bad for you.
Yeah.
But like, I've noticed my numbers have gone a lot lower. But what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to do at least 8 reps. And trying to do at least as much as 12 reps.
Yeah.
No matter like where I'm at. And if I do over 12, then I know that like I should add weight. And that's how I've been doing. I haven't been going like my max to try to like hit my max. I've been trying to hit like good weights and trying to be able to push as much as I want.
Speaking of that, did you I feel like such a noob, but like the term like for weightlifting for like gym, like I know what a superset is, but I didn't know what the acronym for as many reps as possible. It's like an AMRAP or something like that.
AMRAP?
Like as many, and I'd always see it, and I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" Like, there's one for like chest exercise where you do a dumbbell press, and you're supposed to, and it says dumbbell press, 3 sets, AMRAP. What the fuck is AMRAP? And they couldn't find out as many reps as possible. Like, oh, I feel like an idiot.
That's funny. One that I've been running into, I guess just every now and then, is do you know what hypertrophy means?
It's a big word.
they use. There's a guy I follow every now and then that uses hypertrophy as I guess hypertrophy training or something like that. But I'm not too familiar with what it is. But I do want to learn a little more about it. It sounds like it's.
And then you know what? Speaking of like how we're talking about diets and all that, the one diet that I've heard a lot about that. I mean, it sounds like it's a. Well, I don't know how it sounds, but the carnivore diet.
The carnivore diet?
Yeah, where there's these weightlifters, powerlifters, the Bell brothers.
Yeah.
And one of them, I forget his first name, but he made a documentary, which is by far one of my favorite ones. It's called Bigger, Faster, Stronger, where he talks about like steroid use in America.
Yeah.
And his brother was a powerlifter, and now he's made the transition to a bodybuilder, but he says he's on the carnivore diet, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he's talking about it like they eat, like he said that he can't eat a piece of lettuce; it'll make him feel sick, but he eats like he does intermediate fasting, so he won't eat in the morning, and at a certain time he'll just eat like a piece of steak, ground beef, and all they eat is protein.
See, that's what I've been.
But is that kind of how the Atkins diet kind of worked? But he ate a lot of protein. And,
but you had a little bit of like carbs.
These guys are just cutting out. They're cutting out everything besides just meat.
Yeah, not even fruit. I don't think they even eat fruit. It's just nothing but fucking.
Yeah, because they were trying it, right? They were like, well, why don't we do it with meat and like some vegetables? And they're like, oh, it's not working like that. Well, what about meat and some kind of carbs? So like, it don't work like that. It's like, all right, then we're just gonna stick with meat, and they just stuck with meat. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that for sure.
But again, I think what Dean said earlier is moderation. I think if you had 1 can of soda a day, had 3 square meals like you're supposed to, make sure they were semi-healthy, I think it just worked out. I think you'd immediately start looking a lot better.
Yeah.
But when you start drinking, 10 cans of soda a day, eating like crap, barely working out, that's...
I just always... I feel like with me, I was supposed to be skinny, but I'm just stuck in because like I have like the legs of a skinny person. I have some features I know. It's like, fuck, if I was, I might have been skinny, but I'm just big. I just like food too much, and the bad kinds of food too. But now I notice though, like if I eat
pizzas and Pepsi,
Oh, but I notice now though, like if I eat bad, I'll feel it. I'll feel sluggish. Yeah. But if I eat good, like one day, before I was going to do chest, I was like, well, you know what? I've been feeling. This is before I kind of linked it to the creatine. But I was like, man, I feel weak and I need to eat before I do chest. So I made 2 peanut butter banana sandwiches, and I ate them. I was like, man, that's really like it energized me. And then I went and work out. I had like a decent workout, but I was like, damn, dude, I feel good. And like some days, you don't have the time or something. You just go to like Jack in the Box and you get some fucking shit burgers. You feel like shit, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I feel that. And have you heard of the keto diet? Have you ever heard anything?
I've heard about it, yeah.
So keto diet essentially is it's cutting out. I think it's cutting out carbs out of the diet. And I could be wrong, guys. I'm not some kind of health fitness person guru or something like that. But like, I think it's they cut out carbs out of their diet. So it's just literally just like protein and then like fats, like avocados and stuff like that. Just high fats, high protein, low carbs, or no carbs. And I guess like that's what a lot of like the health gurus have been doing to see like if it works. And essentially, what happens when you go into that keto diet is like they go into like this what's called like it's like keto like not keto like kind of sickness almost like keto cold or something like that. So like eventually, because your body's so used to having carbs that cutting it out completely, like their body just doesn't know what to do. Because essentially what they want to do is get put into ketosis, and ketosis is essentially just burning fat off the body, trying to burn fat or something like that. And, well, that's what the whole theory is like if you don't have carbs, because I think carbs is considered a complex carbohydrate, or carbs are like it's hard to burn off or whatever. Yeah. So cutting it completely out essentially is just like, oh, well, eventually it's just start burning fat. And when you're in ketosis, and so like, but the trail to get to ketosis is like you get sick, you feel bad, like you can barely wake up and stuff like that because your body's just not used to not having carbs. And I'm just thinking like, man, how are people putting their fucking bodies through that? Like,
I don't know,
people
man.
Are crazy, right? But I mean, some of these people are like they're health gurus, man. They're gonna try everything.
And what's weird now, I've gotten to the point where I used to not drink coffee, but now I'll have to, and lucky for me, I don't really like all like when they mix it up like what are they called?
Sugars.
Like vanilla, latte, mocha, whatever. I usually just get my just like black coffee with like two things of sugar.
Yeah.
And that I know I had when we were in LA at the hotel. I had some coffee, but lately on my way to work, I'll stop by like a Starbucks or something, and I'll just get like a black coffee with a little bit of sugar, and that's just kind of wake you up. But that's another thing that worries me is my fucking caffeine intake, because I've been drinking coffee every once in a while, I drink pre-workout when I go work out. And then I've been really getting into those bangs. The bangs, the bangers, man.
They have creatine in them.
They have creatine in them,
just
too.
Not a whole lot amount, but like, they have some of it in there.
And you know what? That's a legit, like, if you don't have pre-workout, if you drink a banger, you're set.
I think it's the same way with a Red Bull or even with coffee. You can drink coffee or Red Bull and still that can be your pre-workout. Like that's gonna
stop
amp you up. Who's it? Tywin? He's tripping.
Hey man,
Tywin's oversensitive.
Tywin's my boy, dude.
But no, yeah, you drink some of those. Those can amp you up if you're not used to them or whatever.
Yeah.
But the bangers are good. Yeah, I've had a few of those every now. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I drink.
Yeah,
I haven't had one in a while.
Let's if we keep talking about bang, maybe they'll watch this and fucking send us
right now. Well, we gotta look good. We gotta look good and healthy. We're not. This isn't even a video.
Yeah.
So we can see how.
Thank God,
because
the power came on like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, shit. I hope this camera isn't on because I am shirtless right now.
No, there's no SD card in it. So. But no, and sometimes I think an active lifestyle helps too. You know, there's some people I started recently following on YouTube, and then like they open their fridge, and I'm like, damn, they got some crap in there. Like when you think about it, you're like, it's like Starbucks cold coffees, all these like
oh yeah, something just to pick up on the go.
But to them, it's just like they lead such an active lifestyle. I just don't think they ever stay home long enough. Like they'll do a video, I'm like, oh, we got the largest pizza we could eat, and it's like crap. But like I said, I think their lifestyle is so active that they don't have time to get fat.
Sometimes it's just a fast metabolism too, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of that has to do. I mean, we can look at Luis, man. Look at drinks like all this Gatorade, and look how skinny he is, man. He ain't gaining any weight.
Him and Kyle.
Kyle's a big one. Kyle. Yeah, I haven't seen that guy.
Kyle's just he's not getting. He's mad, dude. Kyle, Jorge Martinez, but Jorge Martinez is more, guy. But he's more active. Well,
he's an active guy.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. A lot of that stuff just has. I don't know. I guess it's just how active you are and genetics, and a lot of that stuff just deal with that. Like I know, like I wish I was born with bigger calves, but the truth of it all is I don't have big calves. And like. You can work on them as much as you want, but I mean, it's not gonna get fucking.
What would you say? Like, because we all work out, like all that. When you're at the gym and you look in the mirror, you can tell there's things I need to work out on, these things. But there's got to be some things where you're like, man, I'm genetically I like the way I look. But some like when you go work out, like what body part do you think?
I don't know. I feel like. Compared to the size of my body, because I'm not a big guy, I feel like my biceps would look okay. My chest doesn't look bad, and then like, I mean, I wish my stomach was a lot more defined. I've been working out a lot more, but like that's really where I feel like a lot of the best parts of my body are. And like obviously my thighs and stuff, they do a really good job.
I really the two parts I really like. I mean, it's like my traps seem to be all right. I mean, I'm trying to get them bigger. And then my triceps.
Yeah.
Like I love my triceps. Like that's the one part of that. Like I like doing curls because curls for the girls, but triceps are like that's where the beef of the arms at.
No, yeah, the beef is what makes most of your arm, and oh man, I worked on my triceps so much.
So
I used to work on my triceps all the time, dude. Because when I first started working out, like I didn't know a whole lot, so like someone said like, dude. Your arm, most of it's just tricep. Work on the tricep, and your arm's gonna look yoked. I was like, all right, so that's all I did was work. I was like, I don't need to work on my biceps as much. I could work on my triceps, and my arms are look big. But like, come to find out, like, you know how guys' arms are just defined. They have the line right here.
Yeah, that separates like the shoulder,
separates the shoulder and the biceps. Like, I always wondered, like, why don't I have that? And it's because you have to work out the shoulders. You have to work out the ball of the shoulder in order to get that, and that's where my whole thing was. Like, my mentality was just like, no, I just got to work out my tris to get my arms to get bigger. But, like, my triceps are strong. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when Miguel used to work out with me, like, I lifted more of my tris than he did.
Yeah.
Miguel's a big guy. Miguel lifts some big weight. And my triceps were strong. And I was like, well, why don't I look as defined as I thought I would? It's because it's a lot more. It's a lot more thought process than it is.
And then I figured like the tricep, when I do like tricep workouts, that probably gives me the best pump. Like I really feel it on my triceps, and the ones I go really hard on. Sorry, poor choice of words. The workouts I really go hard are my tricep workouts, and when I do back and shoulders, biceps. I mean, I don't think my arm can get. I try to get my arm bigger. I don't know if it's gonna get any bigger, but I really just like tricep workouts the most. It's the best, man. It's the best.
Yeah, and there's like what are the body the guys that like bodybuilders and stuff like that work on their physique and stuff like that. Like they probably have some crazy workouts to like properly make that look like.
And then you know what? That like I heard with bodybuilders, like the 2 days before they do a show, their body is maybe like on the edge of just shutting down because they don't eat.
Yeah, because
they have to like
they cut out.
They
water,
cut out.
Right?
Yeah, they're on the verge of just like dying. That's like the closest, the most unhealthiest they are is when they're posing.
Yeah,
because they're But I guess what it boils down to, like, if you want to lose weight, you have to do your calorie. You have to be calorie deficient.
You got it. Yeah, it's literally that like all this crazy stuff get thrown at you from left and right about health and fitness like that. At the end of the day, it's really just calorie deficit versus calorie over calories. I forgot what the word is, but
yeah,
basically calorie management.
Yeah, literally, it's just like because like if you can figure out the calorie the calories that you need in order for you to stay at the weight you are, then you can figure out how you're going to lose weight. Like you'd be like, all right, well, now I eat less than that, and as long as I'm burning enough calories throughout the day, then I'm going to lose weight. Or else like if you're at a calorie surplus or like over the calories you need to eat, then you know that's the amount you need to be in order to gain weight. But now to get like more technical into it, it's like now you need this much amount of protein in order for you to gain muscle. And like literally that's all it is. So like if you just want to lose weight or gain weight, like you can do it as simple as just eating more than you're normally eating versus the calories that you're spending throughout the day. And like that's what you gotta figure out.
And then it all boils down to like your diet and your work ethic too, right?
Because like a lot of like the biggest thing is like in order for your like if you like you can work on your abs as much as you want. You can be doing crunches and like all these crazy ab workouts all you want as much as you want. Like they're not going to show until you get your diet in place. You literally got to eat healthy enough to cut your fat content in your body to be low enough to be able to see your abs.
Because I was watching this thing on YouTube where they're talking about these guys that are on steroid, on testosterone, and one of the guys is saying like there's like 6 or 7 guys in this gym right now who are on steroids who you wouldn't think they are, because they think just by poking yourself in the butt you're instantly going to get the muscle, and it's like no, because you have to put in hours, you have the dedication to do it. Yeah,
like before, you got to be dedicated as fuck before you start.
Well, that reminds me of when I worked at my other job in California. There'd be people there that'd be like, "Oh, I found this pill that they're selling from South Africa that you could take and helps you lose weight." And I'm like, that's not a thing. I was like, I said, if that was a thing, then gyms would be out of business because you'd swallow it, you'd lose weight. I was like, a lot of those pills, either they get rid of the water to help you lose water weight, I said, or they can control appetite. I said, well, you can do that on your own. It's like,
even because
why would you pay $60 a bottle for something that claims to help you lose weight when it's not going to help you do anything unless you work out and eat right?
Yeah,
it's just like those fit tees and stuff like that. Like when people are
on Instagram,
slinging them on Instagram and stuff. It's funny models. Fit tee models. It's funny because like literally those teas are essentially just like they're like laxative teas. Literally, you're just drinking them so that they can make you poop.
Well, that's not good for your body to constantly be going through that. Good. No,
it's terrible. But that's their whole loophole, being like, well, you're gonna lose weight.
Yeah,
because that stuff's gonna get at you.
Yeah, and it's probably just it's also too it's the perception, like you have to be fit to be happy. Which I mean, I'm not. I think like when I started lifting, and because back when I used to lift a lot, like I was I was big, but at the same time, I was eating like shit. But I was big, and then I got really, really sick, and I lost a lot of weight. And I was afraid to go back to the gym because like I've gotten weak. Like at that time, the most I'd bench was 405, and after I got sick, I was like, man, I'd be lucky to even push up like 225. And then I didn't lift. I didn't lift for like 4 or 5 years. And then in January, I started lifting again. And I was kind of happy that I didn't lose all my strength because I was able to do 225 like 3 times. But like I said, as soon as you start like cutting everything out, you don't have to have like a 6-pack or anything. But if you know you're strong, if you know you're feeling good, that's what gives you the motivation to keep going.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, like I know my weaknesses in my body are my calves and my forearms. Like those are just the two. Those are the 4 parts of my body that just don't grow as much as anywhere else in my body. All the other parts, like I do a pretty good job with, but those guys it's tough. But like I want to just be able to just like I'm gonna keep pushing them. I'm gonna keep doing it, man. I'm gonna keep striving for it to eventually grow, whatever if it ever does. But like I do a lot of calf raises and stuff like that, and what's been helping my forearms a lot is deadlifts though. I've been doing deadlifts a lot because like I feel like that's where my weakness is like I can go higher weight, but my forearms just won't be able to hold the weight when I go up. Like you still have to hold with your hands in order to hold. And I used to use straps, but I feel like I'm not gonna get forearm strength with that. So I've been not using my straps in order to do deadlifts and stuff.
The straps I use are those the ones that like kind of hook.
The ones that clip on, yeah. The ones
that clip on. Because what I've been thinking about getting are the actual like wraps that you wrap and it has a little string that goes over your thumb. That powerlifters use when they bench to give you that wrist support.
Oh yeah, I have those.
Do you like the wraps that go around?
Yeah, I have. If you want to try them.
Oh yeah, if you have them, I'll try them out. Yeah, because I wanted to see if because anytime I do bench, my palms get really weak, so I have to use gloves to bench. But like when I do back, shoulders, arms, everything, I just have like the wraps, the ones with the
just hold them on.
Hold them on. Yeah, they don't curl. The ones you hold on to.
And with curls and stuff like that, I get that. That's fine. Like sometimes you just don't want them to be bending all kinds of weird and stuff like that. But with deadlifts, like it does help. Don't get me wrong. Like I hit my max with those straps, but without them, I feel like I just get more of a workout on my forearms.
No, this is kind of weird, but I guess it's not weird. But okay, when you, I guess this is true for me. When you work out, you're because to be honest, like I don't think a lot of like girls like the fucking like. And obviously, I don't like either. Like the really like the super jacked bodybuilders where they look have muscle on top of muscle and looks really gross.
Yeah,
but like a good
veins and stuff.
Yeah, like a good like jacked physique. Like most like I don't know, maybe women are into it or not. But what I do is like what I think is like guys really just live for other guys. Like to get that ego boost, like
look how big he is.
Like a dude coming like, dude, you're fucking big, man. Like that's what gets.
Well, because sometimes you do. Even I'll be in the gym like, damn, look at that guy, and you're like, it's like, and if he maybe that's what he's looking for. It's like other guys will be like, oh, he's yoked, he works out a lot. Some girls are like, "Oh, those arms are too big."
Yeah. See, I've always used this analogy that every dude in the weight room, we're all just a bunch of gorillas. Like we're all a bunch of silverback gorillas, and we're just trying to show our authority or something like when we're working out, like to show like, oh, this guy don't want to fuck with this guy, and that's what I've always used that analogy. And then like when a really pretty girl walks by, you instantly go to the heaviest weight you can lift, and you just start fucking pumping them out, dude.
I'm gonna do it. I promise.
You might only get a rep in, but it's like I get it.
Speaking of like, because I'm not misogynistic or anything, but like beautiful people, we were just in California like a couple days ago. God damn, dude, I have dudes and ladies. I've never seen so many fucking beautiful people in California.
It's California,
especially in LA, dude.
Get there,
man. Dude.
They're all beings of the U.S. that if they want to make it big, they're gonna go to LA, and that's why LA is just got.
Maybe it was like during
alcohol.
like on the the Oregon Trail out west. Maybe what happened was like all the so people kind of like stopped in Kansas and like the Midwest were like, we're not going any further, and like you you just stuck, and all the beautiful people had their drive to like, no, we're fucking making it west, and that's why like because it's ridiculous how many.
I'm telling you, it's just from.
But I think a lot of it too is
it's the movie industry.
There's that, and there's I can't even think of the word, but there's a way that you're supposed to look when you're in LA, like, and I think the movie industry, the magazine industry, everyone wants to look like a Kardashian, everyone wants to look super, and people just like that's who and when you see these people, it's like. They're trying to be like somebody else.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some people, and not even fucking not with Kardashian trash or anything, but there's some man where I was like, damn, this lady is gorgeous. Like I couldn't believe it, And the joke was like, what was it? Oh fuck, I forgot it. God damn it, dude. Point being, there was a lot of beautiful people in LA, and maybe that goes with the perception that that's all the beautiful people are in California. But damn, dude, that was that because personally, I remember going. I've been in Hollywood, but this time was like my first time ever being like in LA.
Yeah,
and shout out to our co-host Tony for like fucking leading us through LA and getting on the. On the train and everything, which was fucking cool. Like we got to see.
Dean got to go on the subway for the first time.
Yeah. Oh no, I've been in the subway in Mexico City.
Oh.
But this is like the first time, first time being in LA, obviously. So
and sometimes I just feel LA is a different beast.
I mean, fuck.
It's like going. It's like going from Winterfell down. King's Landing, it's completely different.
Well, I think maybe because, I mean, obviously we all grew up in a super small town, like where everyone knew everyone, and, usually the hottest girl that would be in Jackal was already taken by someone, so you really didn't have, but like...
Pickle litter was small.
But not even that. Like, you grow up and, everyone sometimes becomes more like family. You're not going to date your sister or your cousin unless you're from a different part of the U.S. But, growing up in a small environment, then going to a big city like that, it's like, wow, you see another world. And
for me, it was overwhelming the first time. Moved down there.
Well, yeah, I bet.
And then I went down there, and then I told my brother, we should go to L.A. And he's like, okay. So we took the train to L.A., and I was like, there's so many people down here. So many people. There's a point where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm used to the most people we had is Pete's would put on a concert and people would show up and the town would grow by 1,000 people or something,
Crazy,
and it'd just be like, then all those people left and the town would be quiet again.
Yeah.
And then, but now it's one of those, like, you go to Jackraw and you're like,
it's quiet.
Yeah, it's so quiet. Even Twin Falls, like, is grown, but it's like, it's still not the amount of people that you would see in Los Angeles. Just Los Angeles itself, like, once you get down to Cajon and start hitting, like, San Bernardino, it's just city after city after so many people down there, and
too much to
it's
honest.
But sometimes it's fun. It's fun that it's one of those places where I wouldn't mind living in LA if it was cheaper, but it's just one of those LA, Southern California is so expensive.
Well, California by itself is really.
And it's just
I guess not like in the mid part, right? Like Bakersfield.
Yeah, like Bakersfield and stuff. But even that's not as cheap as like Vegas would be.
Yeah,
no, definitely not.
But it's one of those,
That's why I like Vegas, man.
Because it's cool because there's so many different things you can do. There's parts of LA that are, the Hispanic communities are, and a lot of good restaurants. There's parts where there's a big African community. There's Koreatown, Japantown, Chinatown. There's an eclectic mix of everything down there. So, but it's just a lot of people.
The one thing I noticed too is like a lot of the vendors outside like USC, they put bacon wrapped in hot dogs.
Well, that's a thing.
Is that a thing in California?
That's a thing in California. First one I ever had was from a person like that on New Year's Eve. I don't remember what year because I was pretty wasted. We were walking back, and my boss at the time was like, "Hey, you want one of these hot dogs?" Yeah. And at that time, the people doing it just had a shopping cart, and those metal trays fit in the shopping cart just perfectly, and they were cooking it. Probably one of the best hot dogs I ever had.
Oh, dude.
And they smelled so good.
Yeah. You know what's cool
wrap.
what was really cool for me too is I noticed, because my perception of LA was like, you get to LA, you're gonna have your Trojan fans and your UCLA fans. Like, it's gonna be a mix. But where we were at, like in LA, like in downtown LA, the heart of LA, everyone's a Trojan fan. Like, I don't know how many times like people would stop me and be like, "Oh, did they play today? Or did they play tomorrow?" Like, "Oh, no, they played," you know. And like everyone, like, you walking by. There's one dude in Venice Beach. Is like, he's walking by. He's like, "Man, how can you be hanging out with these guys?" He's pointing to Alex, Louis, and Tony, because they had their UNLV shirts on. I was like, "Hey, man, they're my ride here."
But I think it's because the Coliseum's so close to downtown LA that generally people live in that area. You'd have to be Brentwood and the other parts to be more in Pasadena, be UCLA.
To be like UCLA.
UCLA.
Plus,
fan.
I'm not being biased. I'm totally being biased.
No, yes,
I'm
you
a
are.
huge USC fan, but it just seems like more of the uppity people, more of the snobbish people would be Bruins fans, which is weird because UCLA is a public school and USC is a private.
But again, I think it's where it's at because remember we were taking the train and it goes to USC, and as soon as you get out of USC, those neighborhoods were pretty rough.
Yeah.
You know, it got pretty rough until you start getting back to Santa Monica where it started to look nicer. So USC itself's nice, but everything around it. And I think those people they support that team. That's their team that's around there, and that's who they support, you know.
I feel like that's what it's here in UNLV. Yeah, there's plenty of people that support UNLV.
And shout out to UNLV too, because they had a decent turnout at the game. There was a
pretty good damn game too for the first half, man.
I'm telling you, man. I was scared.
That's good. That's
the first, what was it? Maybe the first half. Like, okay, because on the way over there, these guys were talking so much shit.
Who?
Tony, and Alex, and Louis were all just Louis not so much, but every now and then, you know, about how and because I've attended both Reno, well, I call it Nevada because that's the way it's supposed. It's Nevada and UNLV.
UNR.
And I anytime they both play, I'm torn. I'm like, well, I've given both of these schools money. I don't know who to cheer for, so I'm torn. But I've told you guys and I told Kyle this. I'm like, if USC ever played Nevada or UNLV, I do not care. I'm cheering for USC. Like, I don't care. USC was the first college I applied for, and it's the only school that I saved my rejection letter from. When I got USC till I die, man. Crimson and gold. And they were talking so much shit on the way there, and the first half was kind of in favor towards UNLV. Yeah, like we weren't getting first downs. We were getting stopped on third. We were setting for field goals, and then UNLV scored a touchdown. Was it a touchdown on a kickoff return? Or was it close?
I don't remember. Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn, dude, I was scared." And I told these guys when I got back, I was like, "If USC would have lost, I would never watch another USC game because I feel like I was bad luck."
I would have felt the same way. Especially playing against UNLV, it's just a team that they thought they would just roll over and.
No. Shout out to UNLV's going to be good. UNLV's going to be good this year, man. They, granted, I think it was the first game of the season. USC still, they have a freshman quarterback, so they're still trying to get everything in motion. Yeah. That guy's supposed to still be in high school. He's supposed to be playing high school football, but he graduated in year early, enrolled, and it's it's going to be tough, but if he gets in the groove, he'll be there for the next 3 years, so it wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was a little scared.
That's good though. That's good. UNLV. I want to go. I want to go watch a few games. I want to watch a few of their games. They're generally on Saturdays, though, right?
Yeah.
Saturday nights.
Saturday nights, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
If they're like at 6, it's not bad.
If they're
6
at
or 7.
I'm ready.
Other than UNLV, do you have another like college football team that you just love to root for? That you just
honestly, I didn't watch college. I really didn't watch a whole lot of college sports until I got here and I started watching UNLV. I know. Luis, he's really he's really into like college sports and stuff like that. But like I was never really into a whole lot of sports until I got here. I watched Nevada. I watched Reno play, and I watched Vegas play. But for the most part, it was just been UNLV when I first jumped on like college sports and stuff. Even like basketball. When I was watching fucking UNLV play here, the Running Rebels, dude, it's fucking. The whole hype and everything about it, man, it gets me excited as fuck, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, because
loved it.
I think UNLV is a basketball school. After that national championship, so basketball is really big. At UNLV. I've always for football. I mean, I like Nevada. I like UNLV, but I've always been like a USC fan. I remember I think I was in 7th grade, and I was flipping through the channels, and I heard the USC marching band play their fight song. And it starts off very and at that time I was really into Greek mythology, so I was like, oh, the USC Trojan, and then I watched and I was like, God damn! And ever since then, dude, USC football is the best game I have ever seen on TV, like the best football game. And there's been a lot of games that come close, like that Nevada Boise State when Nevada beat them on the field goal. That was good.
But I mean, Boise shot themselves in the game, but
as much as I hate to say it, the Texas USC game was really good too for the national championship. Fucking Vince Young on 4th and 5. But the best game I have ever seen was USC Notre Dame and Notre Dame that year. They lost to Texas with the Bush Push. That by far is the best game I've ever seen in my life, man. I remember clear as day just watching it and I couldn't believe. At the end, how we just pulled that one off, and it's cool because USC and Notre Dame are big. They're rivals. They're rivals. They play for the Golden Shillelagh or Shillelagh, which is a big ass war club. And what they do is for every Notre Dame victory, they put an emerald, and for every USC victory, it's a ruby. So they have it and
that's awesome.
And it kind of is weird because they're both two private schools. You would think like rich snobby. But I don't care, dude.
They play this year though, right?
They play at the last game of the year. USC plays UCLA, and then Thanksgiving weekend they play Notre Dame.
UCLA, they're not so hot in football, right? Or
they had Chip Kelly this year, and I know Chip Kelly
is a coach.
Yeah. He led Oregon to the very first national championship, which he lost to Ohio State.
I remember that.
And then he left to the NFL. Where he coached the Eagles at first,
Eagles,
and it's just his coaching style doesn't really transcend too much into the pros.
NFL, right? Yeah, I thought so too.
And plus, when you're in college, you get to pick your players, you get to recruit who you want, who best fits your system. And in the NFL, you're dealing with professionals who you're their coach, but they're still getting paid by the owner. And if the owner likes the player more than the coach, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah,
Giants right there. That's a good.
With Tom Coughlin?
No, Tom Coughlin with the other asshole when he benched Eli. And then he got fired.
Yeah,
it's probably not proper, but that's what happened. And
again, if the owner likes the player more than the coach,
say it's either me or him. Oh, it's him. I'll go.
I mean, so you just start getting into college football then, huh?
Seriously.
What about college basketball?
No, same thing. I wasn't I don't even know why. That's not something I was into in Jackpot. When I was in Jackpot, all of it was just NFL, NBA.
And that's weird, dude, because you were probably, if we're having real talk, there's only a select, maybe 15, let's say just top 20, amazing basketball players who came out of Jackpot. And obviously, you're one of them, So, and it's weird, a lot of them would have their college team and then their pro team.
You would think, right? But, don't get me wrong, my two top schools were UNLV and UNR, because they were our state. They were Nevada. I wanted to be fuck. Reno, obviously, was, my top at first. But, I didn't think, I should watch them play. I never actually thought that until I actually moved down here. And then when everyone was talking about it, when I moved down here, I remember when I first moved down here and everyone was talking about UNR. I was like, wait a minute. It's what, this wasn't really a big thing when I was in Jackpot, but now it's such a
well, and now it's going to be even bigger because Nevada is probably going to be ranked in the top 10 in basketball when they come out. because they made the Elite Eight, man.
Yeah.
They made the Elite Eight, and they're returning everyone back. So,
Ooh, man, that's scary, man.
Because
It's good.
going to both schools, I will say that Nevada is more of a college town. Reno is more of a college town,
and I feel like I honestly feel like UNLV is working.
They're trying to become one. Yeah.
But
they're building a whole lot around their campus and stuff like that. I honestly feel like they're working their way towards becoming one, and I hope they do. Man.
Yeah.
I really do, because I know you don't have like a really big soft spot for Vegas and all, but like this place, I want it to thrive, man. It's like, I don't know. I've been here. I don't know how long I've been here. I've been here for quite a while. It's been a place for me. Man.
Yeah,
it's a great place, man. I don't know. I really want it to be.
Because it's your state. It's like we only have 2 universities here in Nevada, and it's, obviously you just want whatever's good for one school in Nevada is going to be good, for the whole state.
Exactly. And
I'm just kind of curious when Jacquot started getting on the college.
It was weird because
I don't remember even me growing up where people talked about.
Right.
I know people saying like our shop teacher, Mr. Ward, went to UNR. He also went to UNLV, and you talk about things he did for them. And then I remember when they would do the basketball tournament for the NCAA. Like some teachers would let you watch it, some people didn't. There was, people were doing, but I don't remember anybody in class being like, "Oh, I'm a hardcore BSU fan," or "I'm a." But then
it was weird.
And then later on, I noticed it through Facebook. Being in California, I'm like, "Wow, when did people start being big Boise State fans? People start becoming big UNR fans."
It was weird. It was strange. Like the same exact thing was like. Because the person that got me into college sports, I'm telling you, it was Luis. Luis was like, he got me into UNLV. When we went to watch football games, when we watched basketball games, like, that's what he got me. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is cool. Like, good to watch. Awesome. Like, the football games were, like, cool, relaxed. You get to watch. Obviously, they weren't, like, the best teams every now and then, but, like, I still love to go watch them. But, like, basketball games was just like, oh, man, I was in it, And, like, but, like, what I noticed was, like you said, like on Facebook or some kind of, like, social media, I noticed people were just like, fuck UNR or fuck UNLV. I'm just like, why did I never not see that when I was there? So it must have happened pretty recently.
Yeah.
Like when people
and don't get me wrong, I think there's some bandwagoners on there. I think, I grew up with Gato and Pancho, and at no time up until recently did I realized that they were UNR fans.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did they become UNR fans?
I think what it is with that, though, is they saw how, like, a lot of people who are Boise State fans some of them are really, like, a little too... Yeah, right? Yeah, because Boise State got...
Because they're always ranked in football.
Well, they got... I don't want to say overnight, but they found success, and don't get me wrong, they're still really good. But I think that's what brought out, like, a lot of people to start, who probably never watched, and being a school that's, proximity close to Jacquot would be Boise. They just latch onto that, like, we have a team. When people don't know, well, you have a team. You have a team in Nevada. You have a team that's won a national championship in UNLV.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shorty though, because Shorty, ever since I was a kid, we were kids. He'd always like for college basketball. Now like he's a full-fledged, but he's always been a Nevada fan, like in football. But he'd always wear like a UNLV like basketball shirt, like when they won the championship, and he still knows like all the players who played on that roster, dude, like Larry Johnson, shit like that. But I think with Boise State getting so good, and then we have friends of ours who went to. I know Carlos is a big BSU fan. Yeah. Caesar went to BSU, so they just have that.
They have it. Yeah, they have. Yeah.
But for the most part, there's a lot of BSU fans who are just.
Some of them,
you can't.
But but it does seem weird because I don't remember growing up. A lot of people
and maybe they were, but it was just out in the open. They just kept it to themselves. Yeah, because I know, like,
maybe it wasn't shown a lot on TV. I don't know.
Or if it was, maybe it wasn't cool at some point to be a college sports fan.
Well, I know people
are like, well, it's kind of those people that are really hard that.
And you know what? Maybe it was because like NFL and NBA were a lot bigger back then.
That's true.
Well, yeah, because Jacquot,
Because back then,
for some reason, I feel like there's a lot of Giants fans in Jackpot.
There is there is an infestation of Giants fans.
In Jackpot,
I noticed growing up.
Michael Oliver.
All my cousins.
Yeah, it's like all your cousins.
You're gonna name people that are way older than you.
Yeah, but we're just saying in general, there were so many Giants fans.
Yeah.
Because
Luke Torero, big old Giants fan.
So like when I was
Ishmael,
up,
Giants fan. You, Giants fan.
Now, did you become a Giants fan because of Ishmael?
No, I almost kind of, yeah. It kind of came off of Ishmael liking the Giants and all, but
Jesse Torero being a Giants fan.
I like watching them and stuff like that, and then when Eli got there, it just kind of just stood up and just
because I know we talked about this on one of our podcasts.
Yeah, we did.
It was just so weird how we gravitated toward these teams. Like, you're a Green Bay Packers fan. Like,
Yeah.
Green Bay is not nowhere close to that. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. You know,
well, it's Jack. Like literally, Jack. You can just choose what we want because you got no one around
Yeah.
you. I mean, the closest was the Utah Jazz, and Luis was really into the Utah Jazz, and totally really loves Utah Jazz too. Like,
and then Faustino is an Orlando Magic fan.
yeah, he's that's so obscure. Florida,
But it's funny because I lost my train of thought. But I feel like even with baseball, I don't remember everybody being a big baseball fan. Then all of a sudden, when Boston started going to like the World Series, all of a sudden overnight I started seeing more people being Boston. I was like, what? But I think it's something people could get behind.
I think that's what it is.
You know, it was like they hadn't won a World Series. There was all this hype around, hey, they might do it this year, and a bunch of people were like, well, I could get in on this.
Well, I only know 3 people. Mike, you're a Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah.
But like growing up when I was in high school, like 3 people that I knew who were like legit. Like this was the year before Boston won the World Series. It was Russ Hoffman.
Makes sense. Born and raised.
Rick Pike. He told me sort of like he told me sort of like he met David Ortiz one time, and he said Big Pop was huge, man, just like this fucking guy.
And then remember Boston,
and then Frost.
Yeah,
Frost, big Frost.
I feel like a lot of me following Boston was because of Faustino. It's kind of weird that all of the sports that I follow are.
But you pick different ones from different brothers.
Yeah, see that. Yeah. But that's
because you pick the Giants from one, you know,
and the Boston from the other.
Because aren't Faustino and Luis Cowboys fans? I don't know Luis as much anymore, but
Luis doesn't really got an NFL team.
Yeah, because he really doesn't.
Yeah, he's more of a college guy.
He likes college more than he likes. Which is it's like.
But I remember growing up, he was a big like Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman fan, and
like Faustino's a really big Cowboys fan. Obviously, me and Ishmael are big Giants fans, which is a little opposite. Which is weird. See, when you guys were saying like there's a whole lot of Giants fans. It's like me growing up, like it felt like everyone was against me because my friend David was a Cowboys fan. His brother Carlos, which I hung out with a lot, was a Eagles fan, and I don't know if T had a team, but I could have sworn he was a Washington Redskins fan, which was like. Everyone was against me, just talking shit about the Giants.
Dude,
this is before the Giants won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I think we were just speaking in general. Like, I can think of so many people that just were Giants fans.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, it was... Even Eagles fans, it seemed like Tolly's an Eagles fan. Miguel Gonzalez is an Eagles fan.
I think like the biggest... The NFC East.
The NFC
East is probably the biggest money maker in NFL. It's got to be. There's the Cowboys, Eagles,
but
the Giants and the Redskins. I don't know about the Redskins much, but I know the Cowboys and the Giants made.
And there was a few little Raider fans. I know there was a couple of Raider fans there.
What did that lady on the bus tell us? Like she felt sorry for Vegas now because we're getting all the Raider fans.
Yeah, because she said they used to just because the Coliseum's right next to USC, but it's not owned by USC. It's owned by the city of LA. And when the Raiders were playing there, they would just trash USC. The fans would.
Just like the stadium. And
but she's talking about a time when that was an issue. I have a friend of mine, her dad was LAPD at a point, and that's why they didn't want the Raiders back to begin with, is because they feel those fans are just terrible fans. Don't get me wrong, I think with any team there's terrible fans. Yeah. But there's also fans that they know every player, they go to games. They enjoy just watching the game and behaving themselves.
That's why I like Boston, man, because I feel like Boston is really good in that. Like they're just.
Really, I think they would be. Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't know, man. They're just behind the team, man.
I think Philly fans are probably the worst towards other fans, right? Like
The Eagles?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Like
For sure.
I remember when I lived with Frost.
Fucking Eagles fans.
Mugo,
I hate them motherfuckers.
Miguel, probably one of the biggest Eagles fans I know.
Yeah, he's a
That's what makes me a
huge
Giants
Eagle
fan.
fan.
He would find any excuse just to brag on Faustino for the Cowboys. And I made this meme one time. on Facebook where I put Mugo's face. He has like a Eagles hat on. And it said, Chargers beat the Eagles. Still finds a way to blame the Cowboys. It's like the typical Eagles fan. Because Miguel would like come over. And then Faustino, I think, posted on his Facebook one day, it's like, why the hell do people come to me? Like, anytime something
something happens to the Cowboys, shit, man. I'm not their fucking manager.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I think Jason was a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Jason
and then Stephanie, she's a
Giants fan. She was a Giants fan, yeah.
And then their dad Joe was a Redskins fan. So it's kind of like, imagine a house where you have like the whole NFC East, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We just needed Stephanie and Jason's mom to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
That place would be crazy.
But no, when I think of Giants fans, I think there was so many of them in Jackpot. There was so many in that I like I said, that they're just like, man. And I think most of them were Toreros. Toreros were big Giants fans. You know, and Ishmael, this guy.
You know what? And that must suck for the other team in New York, like the Jets.
The Jets.
No one knows about the Jets.
Why don't they pick us up?
Or the Bills. Everyone forgets the Bills.
Buffalo,
they play in New York. They're in upstate New York.
That is true.
I don't know any Bills fans.
I only know one Bills fan, and that's my cousin Jerry's wife, because she's from Buffalo. That's the only.
Well, that makes sense. I get that.
That's the only Bills fan I know.
I don't know any Bills fans.
And it's weird because they went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row.
Maybe like a YouTuber I watch is a Jets fan, but like no, I don't know like anyone.
Yeah, I don't know
anyone like that I know like straight is no. I don't know.
Oh, my brother's a Texans fan.
Oh, yeah, he is. Awesome. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. It's like it's obscure because
there's
we're
some
not
teams out there. It's just like the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, is there a lot of fan base behind that team?
Maybe just in Minnesota.
Yeah, right. I don't even know if they are.
But even if you remember the Hesters, you know, Shelley was a Broncos fan and
Brad's in Seattle, right?
Seattle Seahawks fan because he used to go to games. He would drive to Boise, fly to Seattle, go to the game, and then fly back the same day.
Seattle got a lot of bandwagon fans when they made the Super Bowl. But but I've always been of the way I like to think about it. It's because my team is the NFC, so I will always cheer for an NFC team in the Super Bowl, except the Packers, and that's just because the Bears.
Well, that's a rivalry.
Just hate each other.
Yeah.
So I will never cheer for the Packers in any case. But I like when Seattle made it the first year when they played. Who did they play the first year when they won the Super Bowl? Oh, the Broncos. When they annihilated the Broncos, that defense is just amazing. I cheer for Seattle. I'm not going to be a bandwagon guy and be like, oh, fucking, I love Seattle. I'm going to get like a Seattle jersey. No, I'm an NFC guy. Just like in baseball. In baseball, I'm in the NL. So I like it, you know.
But I think if you grow up in a home with a lot of sports, like Mike did, where you pick teams and you go like, but I don't know. Is that still a big thing with young families now? Do you think there's families that, you know, someone that's maybe 20-some years old right now, do you feel like that they still like, hey, I'm a big this fan, my kids are going to grow up a big this fan, you know?
I know. I'm sorry.
Because I know in some cases, I've been to homes. And I'd say more modern people now, but I've been to homes where sports is not a thing anymore. Where I think it was a thing growing up. Like I remember the Tuckers.
Yeah.
Tuckers. I think Jerry himself was from Cleveland, so I feel, you know, he was a big Browns fan, big Cleveland Indians fan, and I think he instilled that into his kids. You know that they. But sometimes I feel like that part is going away. I think. You know, there's that's not that big of a thing anymore. Where dad's a hardcore fan and the rest of the family's a hardcore fan in some situations.
No, yeah.
In other situations, I see it. I see it a lot. Maybe in LA, you see it a lot because a lot of young people grow up watching the Dodgers, and then they have a family, and it's just like the whole family's Dodger fans. And they grow up that way. But I think sports has kind of fallen out of favor with some people, because these people make millions of dollars. Some of them act really stupid, and it just I feel like as time goes on, is it still going to be like people are going to still be hardcore fans, or do you think we're slowly going to get away from that, where you might raise your kid to never be really into sports, because esports is making it big now.
No, yeah, well, I get that. Yeah.
There's kids out there now that couldn't tell you anything about basketball, football, but they could tell you who the best person in esports is.
I get that
Because my niece is that way. I think my brother-in-law, and obviously he wants her to be a USC fan because he's a USC fan. Wants her to be a Raider fan. Wants her to be a Dodger fan. Stuff like that. But I think to her, I think she has a USC shirt, and I think she just wears it because it's part of her wardrobe. But I think in the long run, I think it's one of those things where she could tell you more about Fortnite than about sports.
Yeah. I honestly, I feel like Fortnite's probably just kind of like a thing that's just going to blow past. But sports not going away, man. And I know with me, I know one of the big things that I want when I start having children or having a family is like Golden Knights games are going to be our thing. That's going to be something that's what I'm going to build upon. I want them to watch games with me. I want them to sit down and do it. I want them to get it. That's what I want to give, And
that's, with me, when it comes to football or basketball, if I have kids, I'll be whatever team you like. The one thing I will be kind of an enforcer on is Chicago Cubs. Because that's going to be something that I'm going to, because my grandpa got me my little Cubs hat I had as a little kid. And, he got me that, and I've been a Cubs fan all my life. And once, if I have kids, I'm going to be okay, you can, but no, you're going to have a Cubs hat. You're going to be a Cubs fan.
See, and see, when you're saying maybe it's going to go, maybe my kids are going to like esports, but I'm not going to not show them the sport of Golden
and like you said, sports is not going away, but I feel like when we were growing up, and even people before that, that probably was a talk in the high school hallway was, did you see the game? Did you see how well they did? Because there was no smartphones. Video games were limited to Super Nintendo, maybe later on Sega and stuff like that. And, there was kids that were into gaming. There were people in computers, but the computer people were generally known as the nerds. Oh, you're into computers. That's,
Yeah.
They even make fun of it in Little Giants. How the one guy on the team has a computer and he's making all the plays. The annexation of Puerto Rico. But I don't think sports will ever leave. But I think as time goes on, I think esports or maybe that kind of stuff might be on the top, and then the other sporting will be towards.
Especially now, because I know we were talking about this earlier before the podcast was football and CTE and brain damage because. Me and you've played, and me and you, we've both probably been concussed or taken hard hits.
For sure, I've had some
but there are people who, because the story I told, there are people who in college, because we saw some hard hits at USC, and especially in the pros where these guys are taking, especially linemen. I think offensive linemen take
hard hits.
Every play. They're getting hit on every play.
No.
Yeah.
What's Timon doing?
He's biting the cables.
Oh man, that's his life.
Crazy
man.
guy. But what if it gets to the point where CTE is becoming way too much of a problem, and like Tony was saying, that football would probably turn. It won't go away, but it will turn less violent. But that's not what we like. We like to see people get hit. I mean, I remember on SportsCenter when they used to do that NFL countdown on Sundays. They would have this thing of the week before. I forgot who used to do it, but it was a segment of the hardest hits.
Yeah, I remember
where
that.
You get hit, get knocked out, and we celebrate that. But now we've become more aware. No, man, these people are getting. And I think it's probably with the suicide of Junior Seau, with a lot of these football players who I know the Washington State quarterback who committed suicide had his brain. he had the brain of a 65-year-old, from the concussion. So if it gets to the point where the rules get way back and there's less people who have their kids playing football, will we even have football?
Shoot, dude, I honestly don't.
No, and maybe we will, but maybe us people that like to see hard hits, maybe as time goes on, like we're the guys that, yeah, man, we love to see it, but maybe wouldn't call it evolution, but maybe it gets to the point where if we could go to the future 1,000 years from now, oh yeah, football's still flag football, and people really enjoy watching it because they've gotten to a mindset of, yeah, all that hitting was bad for people, and now the people have evolved to be like,
more strategy.
Yeah, it's more strategy. They pull the flag off and that kind of stuff. Because I think the way we're looking at it is like, no, we love watching a game where people get hit. We love that. But as more research comes out and as kids now get older and they're like, I don't want to get knocked around having a brain beat up like that.
Now, would you want your kid playing football?
That's a good question.
That goes for both.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I fucking played it, dude. I played it, and I took some hard hits.
I'd probably have him have. I wouldn't mind him playing a sport, but I'm going to have to say no.
Really?
Yeah, I think baseball, basketball, soccer.
But no football.
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I think I would. I think I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with my kid playing football. Obviously, right now they're cleaning out some of the bad things in football, and no, I get that. But like, I don't think like you're saying it's going to get as bad as like just flag football. Like no, like that they're just going to play it with the regulations that there is. Like, if someone gets them improperly, then they're going to get penalized for it, and they'll be like, oh shit.
And then when you look at it too, it's just really hard though because. You're talking, like, especially in the pros, even the collegiate level, you have guys who are flying at each other, and it's really hard in that split second. I mean, because it's easy for us to see on when they do a replay, like, that guy led with his helmet.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you're seeing it, like, in real time, it's tough. I mean, we've played football. We know, like, when we see a guy, and then, well, because obviously you're not playing, like, professional, but, like, in high school. Like, no, even when I played here in the city, in Vegas, the hardest I've ever been hit was I played against this team where they had guys who were cut from tryouts at an NFL team. So they were all college players who were elite enough to get a tryout from the NFL. And it's semi-pro. So it's a bunch of guys who are just taking out their aggression on us, like they didn't make it, so they're going to fuck one of us up. And this guy hit me so hard, and I was lead blocking. And thankfully, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I was kind of strong. So we both hit each other. We stopped, and I instantly saw stars. And the dude who hit me was like, he was laughing. He's like, "Oh, good hit, man, good hit." And he was slapping me on the head. I was like, "Dude, I hit this guy as hard as I could, and he probably didn't even go. He probably went 60-70%."
Yeah.
And I was like,
"It's practice."
Yeah, it was like, God damn. And now these guys are doing it for a living, because we're playing. I was just playing just to play. These guys are playing to make a team. To make a lot. This is careers on the line, so it's kind of hard to tell them, like when they're, especially in preseason too, when they're like, watch how you hit, when at the same time you're thinking about like, I got to make this team, I got to make a paycheck, so it's just tough, man. But a lot of players say they know the risks and they openly take it, and they know that they might, have dementia when they're 50, and they're still going to go ahead and do it.
And that's almost with anything. There's BMX riders that go out and jump these big ramps every day, and they could easily bang their head pretty quick. And it's their thrill. That's what they do.
It's the same with boxers. Like some of those boxers just probably can't even talk right now because like some of the hits that they took in the head is just probably messing with them. Like it really is just it's the choices you make. Like are you going to decide to make that choice to do that stuff? And honestly, I don't think it's going to go away. No. Football's going to stay.
And plus, it's making a lot of money and all that. And
yep.
No, it is. But I think 1,000 years from now, football won't be what we recognize it as.
Oh, I mean, 1,000 years from now, there's sports that are around. That I think the only sport that's that has that has stood the test of time is soccer, just because of the simplicity.
Football.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only one. But yeah, right now football is in a tough time, especially with Colin. Like today, the news came out that he had been signed by Nike since 2011, but now Nike came out and said they're making him the face of something they're launching for like social justice, which
Yeah, I saw that.
totally. I support that 100%. Now it's kind of, especially with the idiot in chief that we have, I know he's going to take some shots at Nike and he's going to take some shots at the NFL.
Dude, he's always been taking shots at Nike.
Yeah.
He's always been taking shots at everyone, especially the NFL.
Yeah, so it's
kneeling and all that.
Which I mean, it's
Well, because I think if you look at the NFL, in some cases, people see that as that's America's sport. No one else plays American football.
No one does.
And they do it in Canada. They've tried the NFL Europe, which kind of failed miserably.
the NFL Europe was cool though. I used to watch that. I used to watch that all the time.
But it's just one of those things that it's just like, and it was always a good old boy sport. You just did as you were told. And now these people are kind of coming in and saying, no, we're gonna stand up for what we believe in. And people are like, nope, I'm not watching you anymore then. Because you should do this, but there should be no such thing as forced patriotism.
No.
Yeah, because that's North Korea. North Korea, you will stand and do as we tell you. You will be a patriot.
Yeah. I'm behind you, Tony. That's a good point.
Yeah, there should be no forced patriotism.
No,
you should not be forced to stand for the national. You can't be forced to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
But it is a private business, so if people decide not to watch, then so be it.
Oh no, and that's kind of how capitalism works. If people don't like your business and they stop showing up, well, guess what? Your business is not going to be that great anymore.
With what Nike did today, what's that? It's a country duo. It's Brooks and Dunn or something like that. One of the guys said that their sound guy cut the Nike swooshes off his socks.
Oh no, I've seen all day pictures of people cutting up their stuff, burning their shoes.
For as many people that do that, there's going to be twice as many who are just going to buy. We're just going to buy Nike stuff.
Because there's just a part of America that doesn't believe in what his cause is. And that part of America doesn't, they're going to say, well, if you're going to support a guy if you're going to support this guy that we don't support, well, then we're not going to buy your product.
A lot of them are just, you're supporting a guy that's just disrespecting our anthem.
Like, because to them,
that's
national anthem plays, you stand and
because there's a whole lot of respect in their whole community, and like some of them probably don't even look at anything else. They're just thinking like, oh, you're disrespecting our shit, and we're gonna be against you. It's just kind of messed up. But on another point is what I think is just fucking hilarious, and just the stupidity of some people is just like, why the fuck are you burning product that you've already purchased? Like literally, it's you spent your hard-earned goddamn money, and then you're burning some of the like the same whole thing with like everyone was burning LeBron James jerseys a while back when he left left Cleveland to go to Miami. It's just like, dude, you spent like $110 on that thing and you're burning it now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like,
and it's crazy to think
wasting money right now. Like,
but they're so angry.
You're so angry.
They're so angry that they don't care.
You're burning your product.
Think about it.
Because it's not literally it's not physically not even hurting anyone. People that sold you that product already made their money. Like you're hurting yourself
because they don't believe in the cause that he stands for.
Well, you know what?
I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious.
Okay, for as many people that say, "Oh, you're disrespecting the anthem and all that," if we could be a fly in the wall in any of these homes, and for the majority of people say, "Oh, are they standing for the anthem?" No, they're probably sitting on their couch, popping open a Budweiser with the thing of nachos on their gut while the national anthem is going on.
Well, and I think the argument would be, well, you don't have to do it at home.
If you're such like we talked about on the podcast last week, Donald Trump is so gung-ho about, he called players sons of bitches for not standing for the anthem and all that. The motherfucker's the biggest hypocrite there is, because a war hero, I think, obviously a war hero, who rather himself, when he got captured, he said, no, I'm worth more to, other people said to let go. and he doesn't even lower the flags at half-mast at the White House.
Well, because he's playing to a base.
Well, no,
I don't. Sometimes I don't
he's
feel
petty, dude. He's fucking petty.
He is,
dude.
but
He got his feelings hurt.
I feel like his base was his base as much as John McCain was against. Like, dude, his base was probably respected of him, but there was a little bit of ounce of pettiness in the way.
Yeah, and I think some of Trump doesn't believe the stuff he does. I think deep down, someone that was invited to Bill and Hillary Clinton's house all the time, were best friends, was a registered Democrat. He's a businessman. He just knows who his customer is, and any good businessman knows that if this is the customer I need to sell my product to, then I'm going to continue to sell that product to.
Yeah,
if 4 years are up and he's done and he doesn't want to do this anymore, and it fails, I'm like, well,
he's going to start running here in a few months.
This business venture has failed. Because to him, he's treating the country as a business.
Yeah, no.
And that's exactly what he does.
That's what he said when he started. He said that he was going to treat this country as a business.
But it's just
and his base is like, we'll eat that shit up no matter what he does. We'll eat that shit up, and then it's like they shouldn't. They should. But they're so deep in the shit now that they just continue to listen to what he has to say. There is people that I've seen in some comments on Facebook that you see an article, and you'll see a few people like, man, this is not the guy I voted for. Like, he stood for something that I was like, man, he's going to drain the swamp. He's going to fix the problem with illegal immigration. And there's a lot of people, he's going to fix jobs.
A lot of people behind that immigration.
And there's a lot of people, he was going to fix jobs and bring jobs to the USA. And when you think about it, America could use more jobs. Fine. There's some things he said where people were pretty excited about. And now there's some people going like, wait a minute, this isn't turning out. And those people, hey, good for you. But there's some people like, no, he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no.
Well, I think that just what pisses me off, though, is he is so quick to say someone expressing their First Amendment right that is guaranteed by our Constitution that as long as it's a peaceful way, you're not hurting anyone, you have the right to that. So I don't agree with flag burning.
No,
I don't agree with that one bit.
Stopping on the flag, no.
So I don't agree with it, but that is your right protected by that. That's your First Amendment right. You should be able to do that without facing it. I mean, yeah, in the court of public opinion, you can be looked at for being an idiot. Yeah, exactly. But you can still do it because that's your right. Exactly. That is your right.
Because what's weird is
which is fucking.
It's just a hypocrisy.
It's so fucking.
Well, the
area is so gray, and like. That's why when the whole thing happened with the whole Nazi march on what was the one place?
Charlottesville.
Like when that happened, like fuck, man, like where's that gray line leading us to, right?
Well, because the Nazis, under their First Amendment right, have the right to go out and protest,
right, they do,
and they can because that First Amendment. But people won't look at it like.
But people also had the right to go up against it, right?
Counter protest.
But I think where the hypocrisy boils in is, well, that's their First Amendment right. Well, so does someone can easily sit down during the national anthem. That's their first.
Yeah.
Well, that's the national anthem.
It's crazy because that was his thing at first. Was just I'm just gonna sit down for the national anthem, but then someone was like, dude, like sitting down. It just seems like. It almost seems unprofessional, just sitting down, doing nothing about it. Like, it's unprofessional. And then they're like, take a knee. Like, taking a knee, it's just literally just taking a knee. Like, there's nothing too about it. There's not a whole lot about it, but it just seems more professional. It seems more like, and then, like, he did it. And then he started doing knees, and then people were like, this is just against everything. Everything we know. This is against America. And it's just like,
because the good old boys of this country, and some of these are good people. They just have a different point of view, But as long as the NFL has been around, they've been playing the national anthem. People stood for the national because that's just what you did. But we're in a different society. We're in a different era now where the world's changing. Things are going different, and people now are kind of like, I don't agree with what's going on, and this is how I'm going to make people know that I don't agree.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, with us, to me personally, like, before a football game, I love the anthem because it got me ready. I was there. I would sing along with it. And if I was in high school now, say playing in Jackpot, I wouldn't do anything because I've never experienced any kind of like police brutality. Because that's what it boiled down to. Is a lot of people forget. No, this was about police brutality. This was about police getting away. Yeah, just because you're black doesn't mean that when the police pulls you over, you have to fear for your life. You got pulled over. Do you fear like for your life or anything? You're like just.
No, I'm perfectly fine, man. I just follow whatever they want.
Yeah,
me to do.
I put my hands on the steering wheel. They talk to me. I'm really just. But maybe what happens if I was black? What happens if I got pulled over instead of Henderson? I'm getting pulled over deep in the east side or in North Vegas. Now I was black. And really suspect looking car. Then, you have that fear in you. I mean, I guess you would, but.
And I think as much as there's good law enforcement and there's bad law enforcement, I've seen officers that, if they find out you're, my brother said one time he got stopped walking to work because he looked like someone they were looking for. Mm-hmm. But once you show him the ID and was really cool, and they were really cool with him,
Oh yeah.
But he's been with cops too, who are just total assholes to him, and he's just like, hey, I'm just trying to be helpful to you. I'm not the guy you're looking for, But it's like, shut up, like, dude. But I feel cops, because they were cops, could get away with something. The way I feel is the 40s, the 50s. If you were growing up as a kid, to you it was, well, he's a police officer. When he asks you to do something, you just do it. And I think people just grew up on that mindset of if a cop says something, you just do it. Yeah. But I think we're now in a society that's like, wait, no.
No,
we know the law, and you can't do that. Shut up! I can do whatever I want. And it's like, no, you can't do that.
Right to question it now.
Yeah.
Because like, I personally, I feel I'm behind body cams. You guys
yeah.
Because like body cams, essentially, they're showing you the truth, whether or not they're twisting it this way or you're hearing it this way. It's like literally like the moment you see it. You see the truth, and it's up to you whether or not how you're accepting it. And like some of those body cams, it's like there's so many fucking stories, and the cop stories was like, no, I felt a threat to my life, and I had to use my weapon. And then the body cam shows the motherfuckers were running, like there was no like why did you draw your weapon? Why did you shoot? Like there's no fucking reason to. Why did you do it? And like. That's why the body cam is it's fucking valid proof. There's no way you can twist that. Like, sure, maybe something happened before that or whatever. Like, the body cam shows, like, whatever happened before that. Like, it's literally showing you everything. And, like, that's why I'm behind it is because, like, but, like, there's been moments where cops were like, no, like, we're against this. I want to fight against, like, having body cams. Like, we shouldn't have that. That's not something that we should be wearing. It's like, no.
But if you're not doing anything wrong, who cares if someone's watching you? You're not
exactly.
Well, yeah.
And I also get with cops like you're it's like gray area. So you're in that scenario where like your fucking blood is rushing because you're scared or whatever scenario you're in. But like there's moments where you're just like, dude, like what the fuck are you doing? Like the other day I watched one where the cop was wearing a body cam and the cop said he was afraid for his partner's life. He thought his partner was in danger, and what the whole story ended up happening was these teenagers were in a car. They were backing up to get out of a driveway, and the cops were coming out telling them stop, like yelling at them, right? And they were just backing out of the driveway or whatever, just to get on the road. And they weren't listening to them. They weren't listening, which I mean could be against the law or whatever, but it wasn't in danger of anyone. And then they started driving away, and then one of the cops started shooting, just pop, 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 and it got one of the teenagers. One of the teenagers died, passed away, and the cop was like, the cop's whole thing was like, no, like I felt my partner was in danger of his life because I thought they were going to hit him. But when we watched the body cam footage, the car is literally just backing up out of a driveway or whatever, and then just going on the regular road, and like just driving away, and he just started shooting at him. And he was saying like, well, my partner was about to get hit by the car. It literally felt like he was in danger of his life because we thought they were going to back up and kill him. But then his partner was like, dude, no, like I was literally they were backing up like maybe 2-3 miles an hour, going slow as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy just pulled out his weapon and started shooting.
No, see,
and like at that moment, like if there was no body cam footage in that at all, and none of us had seen it, like all we had was his word, and his word was saying that my partner was in danger of his life, and because we thought that this guy's an authoritative figure, like we should probably listen to his say, but like, fuck, dude, a lot of these people are gonna lie. And don't get me wrong, like, police, man, I give them 100% props, man, because they put their lives so much, dude.
Well, you said there's good ones, there's bad ones.
And it was fucked up with whole police thing is like, because I give props to police so much because like 100% of the time I'll be behind them because like there's just bad apples in the whole amount of cops that there is. Like at some point you're just gonna have a bad apple with so many people just enlisted to a certain kind of degree or whatever. But you never know, man. And that's why I feel like with a body cam, like that's gonna tell us the truth. It's the cold hard truth, and that you're gonna see it. And sometimes some of that stuff will be gray, but like it's a lot less gray when you see video footage.
You know what the body cams remind me of is I don't remember the date. I'd have to look it up, but Metrolink, which is a rail system in LA, travels throughout most of the counties there. One of their trains hit a Union Pacific train and just hurt a bunch of people, killed the engineer, a bunch of stuff. There was this like area of like they don't know who did what, when, what went wrong. So they're like, well, we're going to install cameras in every locomotive that are going to watch what you were doing. They even got to the point where they were putting people next to the engineer just because they're like, we're going to, this doesn't need to happen again. Yeah. And there was a big fight from these engineers. Nope, it's invasion of privacy. It's like, but if you're doing nothing wrong, if you're doing your job the way you're supposed to, again, because you're hauling hundreds of people, you should just think about it as, hey, yes, there's a camera in here. They're watching what I'm doing, but that's okay because to me,
it's a fucking job.
Like to me, I work in a job, and my job has cameras because that's how the business runs. And they see everything we do. But I don't sit there going like, man, I wish we didn't have, like, no, because that business has cameras for a reason. That's why they use them. But as long as you don't do anything wrong, who cares that those cameras are there?
Yeah. So they still have cameras like on the bus that we were taking, the metro? Like?
Yeah, buses. Well, buses now, most buses will have cameras facing the driver and inside the bus.
Okay. Oh, but the metro, the one
the Metrolink has it, and the engineer has it, just because it was a terrible accident. It killed the engineer of the Union Pacific train, and all it was is because they said he ran a red signal. Oh. It's kind of like running a red light in an intersection. But then people said, no, it looked green. But I think body cams are a necessity with the way police are today. No, police that do their job don't care because it's on. And it's like, hey, you could check the – because can you imagine if let's say it was the other way around. A guy comes in, that cop was hitting, doing all kinds of stuff to me, and they check the body cam, and no, you as a perpetrator were being the idiot. The cop was defending himself. It can work both ways.
Yeah.
But you can have cops out there, and I remember a Law and Order episode. Don't remember which one it was, but there was a Law and Order episode. I think it was an SVU. It might not have been. It might have actually just been Law and Order. But it's kind of a new cop. But I think. Because Briscoe was, I can't remember.
Oh, that's Law and Order.
That's Law and Order. Jerry Orbach, the actor that,
wonderfully too.
Yeah, he had a new partner, and again they get to the scene where there was another cop there that ends up doing. He did something shady to get this guy, to find out what was going on and arrested or something. And the young cop's like, "Whoa, wait a minute! No, we don't handle things that way." So he reports it. And then this other cop gets in, the older cop, and he say, hey, you need to go tell your boy to calm his shit because it's not how we do things in the police force. This is how we do things. Yeah. At the end of the episode, you find out that guy ends up offing himself, the older cop, He's been doing that way for years. But I think, because as long as if you do your job on the up and up, then there should be no reason why you should be scared. I think the reason people are scared of the body cams is because for years they were getting away with harassing people.
You can't.
Yeah, it's like they would pull somebody over and be like, harass them. And it was kind of like, no, now you can't do that anymore. Now you got to treat people like people. If they haven't broken the law. Recently, conversation came up at work where it's like about showing ID. If a driver gets pulled over and there's 5 people in the car and they all show ID. And this person told me, and it was like, nope. He's like, last time all 4 of us, I didn't show ID. And another person was like, well, don't you think the situation went smoothly? He's like, I don't have to show my ID. No law saying I'm showing ID. He pulled the guy over. He pulled the guy over in that car for traffic violation. Why do I need to show an ID? Yeah, but it made what about the situation? There's 5 of us in this car. We don't have to show. And he's on, I refuse. He's like, I don't need to show my ID. Yes, you do. No, I don't. If you pull someone for a traffic violation, the rest of people in the car don't need to show their ID.
Then there's sometimes, though, on the other side of the coin where, I've seen YouTube videos where the cop is just doing a simple traffic violation, and then the dude disagrees, and he has a recording, and he says, I'm not showing you, but repeating, but dude, if you obviously did something wrong, and the cop's not being a dick about it, because...
Yeah, but if you're the driver, you have to. Yeah. You got to show your license and registration.
Yeah, but how you were talking on Law & Order, kind of off topic, but same talk. Larry Briscoe was his name. And then when they had the dude from Blood In, Blood Out, Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys were the best detectives. And the DA, the assistant to the DA, and something Harmon, her last name, she was fine. But when it comes to SVU, what's her name? But she was the DA, but the redheaded DA.
Oh yeah, the redheaded DA was a really good DA.
She was.
Loved her.
Who was the blonde in the deal? Was it Alex?
The blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex. I think it was blonde.
You know what's weird? They used her in an early episode as the girl that raped the guy.
Yeah. No.
And that's what you? No, that was a redhead.
Yeah,
that was a redhead.
Redhead.
Was it the redhead?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember she and then later,
yeah, we know this stuff.
Yeah, and then later on, and I was like, wait, and I was like, I saw that episode.
She was the DA. She was raping someone. She should be in jail.
I'm telling you, dude.
But there was a lot of people on SPU. Remember Jennifer Love Hewitt?
No, there was a lot
character.
Hayden Panettiere was one.
The dudes from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Charlie Day was on there, and so was...
Robin Williams was on there one time.
He was the kind of crazy guy, but he was on SVU.
Right, yeah.
No, I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, he was in SVU, and not only was he in SVU, dude, that was a really fucking good
episode, yeah.
He got away, too.
Yeah.
He got away. It was fucking crazy.
You know what? This might sound weird, but do you remember the Geico commercials? Where those guys what were you living under a rock? He was in an SPU. I remember watching an episode and it was like they knocked on the guy's door and that guy popped out because
I know
it was just like wow.
When SVU started, the dude who does the Mayhem commercials, he was in SVU. He was Olivia's partner before Stabler.
Which guy?
The dude who's in the Mayhem commercials, what's his? He was in Oz. That's where I know. And then he got to SVU. But he was Olivia's partner before Stabler.
But I thought Stabler was in Oz as well.
He was in Oz too. Yeah. Everyone from Oz moved on because the father from Oz was the psychiatrist in SVU. B.D. Wong. He was in
from Jurassic Park.
And then,
he was the FBI guy though. Remember?
Yeah, he was
the other psychiatrist who was the guy from the farmers commercials. We covered that because we've seen. Because that other guy was that other guy.
And he was in Oz too. He was Schillinger.
Yeah, because he played. I think he played the New York psychiatrist, and B.D. Wong was the FBI psychiatrist.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people from Oz moved on to SVU.
Remember Stabler was also in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yes, he was. He was the kind of gay guy.
Yeah, the gay guy that was at the hotel desk.
Yeah, that's right. Stabler can do anything, though. He's a really good actor.
But awesome. You know what I liked, too, was Ice-T and then the Jewish guy.
Oh, dude, those two.
Storylines
when they
would get together. It's like, why do we always
which is weird because for the most part they were kind of just always a side story to the main story.
And then remember when there was a couple episodes where they're the main focus.
They're the main focus.
What's his name? Okay, it's Tuatoa.
Yeah.
And what's the other guy's name? I don't want to say Finn, but I know.
It was first name, right? They call him Finn, right?
Ice-T is always notorious. Every SVU episode, he always gets assessed. It's like, you raped her. He's like, you raped her. That's all he says, dude. It's
He was. There was an episode. There was an episode where all of them were in heat. They were in
Munch.
Finn and Munch. Finn and Munch.
That's it.
But it's weird because
Detective
Munch played that
Tutuola.
same character in 3 different shows.
He
That's
did,
why they
right?
said
'Cause
they were
he did
interlude.
regular Law and
Yeah.
Order, right?
Yeah.
He was in regular Law and Order. And what else was he? He was.
I can't remember, but it was
Munch
weird
is
because I think he was in X-Files or something that ended up being.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was something where like
they were
now
on the same universe.
Yeah, they were on the same universe.
Shout out to the
Strange.
redheaded stepchild of this family, Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
No,
No,
you know what? No, I don't know. If that's
Well,
right.
was that the one that had
There was
Vincent D'Onofrio's in it.
yeah, the guy from fucking
you talking about Scream?
no, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I don't know actors' names.
He's
so-
like he's like always out of breath. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. But no.
Fucking Gomer Pyle, man.
Don't you guys remember there was supposed to be like a Law and Order L.A.?
I don't know if that even so.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I remember there was an episode they tried to do a crossover where a guy was helping Olivia solve a case, and then after that they tried to do it. They tried to drop it, and it didn't do well. They didn't do well at all.
You know what episode? And I don't know. I can't remember if it was SVU or if it was Law and Order. But there was this wealthy, semi-wealthy family in New York, and he kept getting away with stuff.
He was.
And those episodes kept pissing me off because the episode would end and it'd be like, well, she got away with it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't we? But I think eventually down the road, there's an episode they finally get caught for what they're doing.
The guy. Was it
was a lady. It was like a
older lady?
like an older lady. And I can't, like I said, I don't remember.
I
don't remember if it's Law and Order or SVU.
I'm thinking of an older family that I feel might be the story you're talking about, but I feel like there was one of the people in the family was kind of he was slow, but I mean he was obviously covered by wealth, so they couldn't ever charge him. I could be wrong, but
Sam Waterston had a really good character, playing was he the DA?
The DA in Law and Order. Brian Winter. No, Cassidy. Dean Winters is the actor. Brian Cassidy is the dude who was Olivia's partner before.
Let me see a picture of him real quick. You have a picture of him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was in something else too, wasn't he?
He's in Oz. He's in that. He's
got to be in something else because he looks familiar as fuck.
You know the one episode of Law and Order that always the SVU that always kind of was like, damn, you guys went there, was when the girl had Down syndrome and she was pregnant.
Oh, I was just gonna bring that up. Yeah, and then they were the parents wanted to abort the baby, and then she's like, no.
Yeah, because she was dating another guy. Her boyfriend had Down syndrome too. But he wasn't the one who. It was a bus driver.
Yeah.
Oh damn, dude!
SVU went so fucking crazy.
And sometimes they use there was an episode where a pop star was molesting kids, and it was kind of well, you're kind of hitting at Michael Jackson, but okay, you know.
Well, they did that a lot. They did the one where a football player somehow raped his wife. I don't know if his wife or his girlfriend, but they blamed it on CTE or something like that. But he didn't know.
They did a whole lot of those. One that was just it was so good because so what they essentially did was they told a rape occurred or a sensual rape occurred, right?
You raped her.
It was exactly. It happened, right? And then but we don't really know what happened, but we know that something happened, right? And then they tell the story of the girl, and then they tell the story of the guy, and then you read both their storylines, you just be like, all right, this is the way this happened on her end, this is the way it happened on his end, and then at the very end they're like, all right, and then obviously she was the one saying that he was the one that raped her, right? Whatever, and then the very end they're like, and we finally defend it. And then it ends right there because you're sitting there what the fuck, man? Tell me the truth, what happened? Because the whole way it is just it's essentially saying she felt like it was this way and the guy felt like it was this way. So literally it was just up to you whether or not well, fuck, did he rape her? Because like when you hear her story, you're like, fuck, no, that motherfucker raped her. He raped her. Like that just in my head, I know that he raped her because the way that she told the story. And then he tells his story, and you're just like, and you question it. It's like, oh shit, dude. Like, oh shit. You're like, fuck, did he? Like, I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did.
I'm telling you, dude.
But SVUs were written so well.
Yeah, exactly. And at the very end, when they were like, and we find the defendant, and then it was just like, Dick Wolf. And you're just like, what? I'm tired of this. Dude, it was the worst.
You know what I hated about, and it had nothing to do with SVU. It just, they would go to commercial break at the fucking weirdest, like, you'd be like, and then all of a sudden, like, a four commercial, like, no! Like, I'm like so mad at you right now because you decided to go to a commercial break right when we were going to figure out what's going on.
Law & Order is probably the easiest show to binge without knowing, like, you've watched, like, you're, like, 6 episodes deep into one, because you can watch it and be like, it grabs a hold of you, and you're watching, you're trying to be the detective in your mind, be like, wait a minute, no, and then the way I always kind of look at it is, like, you got to think of the least possible person, or a person they might have showed just a little bit of a clip of, and usually that's the person who did it.
And it's funny because the episode generally will start out of someone will find somebody, some girl will run to somebody, some guy will be in a car killed, and you're just kind of like, all right, and then they do an investigation. And then sometimes it's like they show up at some job of some guy. Hey, I heard you're back to your old chicks again.
Yeah.
No, I've been in that area like years. Like, and you're like, all right, and then, but they're written so well that it's not something where like you see a guy just like murder somebody, and you're like, well, it was that girl there? We know who.
Yeah.
It was always like they found the body, or found the rape victim, or found the kid that was molested, and you just really don't know who's doing it. And then later, you know, mom was doing it, dad was doing it. You know, the hooker. It wasn't the hooker that killed the man. It was somebody else that killed the man. You know who would.
A lot of them were good at that.
And the good thing was it was a new story every episode. Now there was some to be continued ones. And there was also some crossovers between Law and Order and SVU,
which was really good.
They would really start there and they would go there, and then you'd have to. And it's just like, man, it was just. Yeah, it's just like,
some of those were pretty hard to follow on, but the Jennifer Love Hewitt one was a really good one too. That one was crazy because like her whole story was like, this guy's raped me like 4 times already, and then you just gotta follow it. The whole like, wait a minute, how the fuck does he rape you 4 times? How does it happen? Yeah. And then it shows the whole story about how it happens. And you're just like, oh fuck, dude, this is crazy.
Or you get the episodes where like some kid gets molested by some guy, and then the dad goes in and like towards the end and gets the gun from one of the detectives and just shoots right there in the
I think I know what that is.
Because like,
is it the one where like he's in a holding cell and they're moving the dude, the perp, because they call him perp.
Yeah, they come out and just pop.
No, there was an episode. It was so fucking.
We really need to watch all the episodes again.
There's an SVU episode where this girl obviously has been raped, and then like. They've arrested her perpetrator. They feel like this is the guy or whatever, and like, but there something shows this girl that there's not enough evidence for him to get proved the fact that he raped her or whatever, and like, so she's like, so he's gonna get away. And like, obviously this girl is the victim, so Stabler and Olivia have been behind her the whole time, really like helping her and all that, and like. And then, like, it's close to the end of the episode, and she tells him, like, so he's like, so this is like, it's not gonna work out. Like, he's gonna get proved innocent or whatever. And like, they're trying to tell, like, no, like, we're gonna work hard to do this and get this guy guilty or whatever. She's like, oh, all right, okay. And she's walking out, and the guy is being moved from his cell or whatever. So, you know, it's a show, you know. So it's happening all at the same time, and then like. Literally, she pulls the gun out from like the person that's helping her out. He's just the guy just helping her out. She pulls the gun out. And she's like pointing at him, and then like Stabler pulls out his gun, and he's like, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" It's so fucking sad because he's telling her not to do it, and like, but you can see it in her eyes that she's going to do it. Like she's about to do it, and then he blasts her, man, and like she goes down, and it's just. It's like, man, like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Is that the one where Elliot takes some time off?
Yeah,
afterwards.
Then he's gone. Then he's just off the show. After
now,
that.
have you been watching it now that?
Without him? Because she Olivia's the captain now, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I probably need to catch up and see.
Because I haven't watched an episode since she's been captain. Because I've only known the old captain. That's all the episodes.
The old guy, right?
The bald guy. Yeah. But apparently she's been captain this whole time, But no, I haven't watched any of them.
But you know what's cool is, as much as they focus on the case, you get a little hint of like their outside life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Stabler and his wife were having issues. You know, constantly to bring in work home or whatever the case may be.
You just remember the episodes with his daughter though? How crazy!
Oh yeah.
Because she was. What did she have? It wasn't even something crazy, but like she was crazy. She was crazy as fuck. There was an episode where she was like over the top.
I think that term. I think she had white girl-itis. So white girls be tripping.
I don't think it was.
You find out Olivia's a rape baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
crazy.
early on,
she
you
finds out
find
about her brother, and like she feels like her brother has been doing the same thing, saying that like she's thinking that he's been following her dad's footsteps, thinking like I'm a rapist too as well, and that, and like she like hates him with all his heart, but then finds out that he's been getting like framed by some lady. It's just
and
crazy.
then her name, her real name is I know her last name is Hardegay or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
But Chelsea Handler used to always say, because they're good friends, she'd always just say, "Oh, her name's hard to say."
That's funny.
Tutuola, that was his name.
Tutuola,
Yeah.
Ice Cube, man.
Yeah.
Ice Cube went from doing cop killer to being a cop, man.
Yeah.
So he told him, and his wife is.
Ooh, that booty. That booty.
Dude, there's way too much work done there. I don't.
Well, that booty though.
I don't. Well, yeah, there is, but sometimes
She's
you know
also
it's
really, really dumb too. I'm sorry, Tutu all over here.
I think Ice Cube is getting that.
But he does a good job in it. I don't know if is he still in it?
I think he still is.
But him and Munch.
Really Munch was in Scarface. I don't know if you guys remember.
I don't know that.
He was, you know, the part where he's at the club and they're sending before he kills Frank. No, that's his name, right? Frank. Louis, what was his name? What was his name? The guy that Tony Montana worked for before that tried to, Frank. He's at the club and he wants to have him killed, and he's actually the MC in the comedy club.
Huh.
Yeah, Munch is in the MCing, and then he leaves, and then that's when they come and shoot up, and Tony Montana survives.
I think Munch and Tutuola, it was kind of where the other two were the straight man. They were kind of like the comedy, you know.
They were always. I felt like they were mostly a side story.
You know, one of my things that made me laugh was like they're going downstairs, and then he tells Munch, he's like, "Why do we always get these cases? Oh, it's because of our can-do attitude."
Yeah. It's funny how he was always like conspiracy theories.
Yeah, well, because I guess that's how he is in real life, though. They did a thing on Funny or Die where him and Christopher Walken went to grocery shopping.
No, they did.
Yeah, dude. And like you watch the thing, it's like, yeah, that's what I imagined Munch would be like.
But no, he did a good job. Those two his partners were really good.
There was an episode of Law and Order SVU where like all of them were in hot shit, but Munch, I don't think Munch was, but it was Tutuola, it was Ice-T. He was in hot shit because it was his son. Because his son came out. His son's gay. Right? Well, his son was gay, but it had to do with like him being gay and like he was like harboring a witness. He was like hiding a witness or something like that, and then Olivia was listening to her captain, and she was protecting her brother, which was at the time was supposed to be someone to be arrested because he was raping girls. What the story was, and then Stabler had hidden evidence because of his daughter or something like that. It was like crazy. I was like how are none of these people gonna get arrested right now? like they're literally all like they're all breaking the law right now. They probably should all get arrested, but they followed the storyline and somehow they were all innocent or some crazy shit like that. But guys, we're at an hour and 58 right now.
Yeah, we went longer than the hour that we said we would.
We were doing an hour.
We slid into one of our topics, which was whole sports and stuff like that, which is pretty good. But we didn't like announce it or anything like that. But
we ended it on Law and Order SVU.
We did, yeah. Law and Order. Everybody watched Law and Order SVU. It's a really good
Casey
show.
Novak.
Casey Novak.
Yeah, there we go.
Right
Casey Novak.
Is she the one that gets killed? Who's the DA that gets killed?
One of the DAs get killed?
Yeah, I think somebody. That's why.
No, that's the blonde chick, Alex. You think about Alex. there's an episode where you think she dies, but she faked her death for a whole FBI. She was more the big picture for the FBI.
Wasn't there a judge who was also like an alcoholic?
Oh yeah. She got brought
died?
back, and she was a DA for a few episodes. But
Do you remember that episode with the white supremacists? And then they start putting guns in court.
Guns on court, and they shot people.
And then the one lady ends up being an FBI agent that was undercover the whole time.
FBI. Dude, that shit was legit though.
Oh,
you remember that? You don't remember that?
That was an amazing episode.
That's actually the crazy girl from The Mist. Do you remember the crazy?
Mr. Harvey. Yeah, that's right. I know. Yeah, okay.
She's like straight spouting all of like the white supremacist stuff. Like she's saying like, but it's because she's trying to hold.
Keep her
recover, and then when those two guys pull guns out in the court, and they shoot a few people actually, and then they get shot down.
She's like, FBI.
Yeah, I remember that now.
That's why she was pleading the fifth. Right?
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Oh, that was a good episode. That was a really good episode.
Shout out to Casey. And then another quick shout out to the one dude on that metro who pulled out a meth pipe, and then later on just puked.
What?
Yeah, this one dude we got on. We were going to Venice Beach, and I kind of figured something was up because he was grabbing onto the railings and just fucking swaying back and forth. And then I wasn't really paying attention. I guess Tony Axe spotted him like take out a fucking meth pipe. And did he smoke it or did
No, he pulled it out and then you saw a little vial with the rock in it.
Yeah. So it might have been crack.
It
probably was crack.
It's okay. And then he went up, and next thing I know, he got off, and then I looked on the floor. There was a bunch of red shit, like Jello shit. I was like, this guy just threw up.
Well, the day before we had that guy that was like, he was just sitting in that chair and he's like, his eyes were closed. He was on one, just like on one.
You'll see people like that.
Oh, and then one last thing. When we were walking, we saw the biggest pile of shit.
Every single night that we were there.
No one picked it up. There was flies. At first, when we saw a bunch of flies, my mind went to like, man, this is a severed body part here. There's a lot of flies. Yeah. And then we saw it, and then, nope.
Pile of shit.
Big pile of shit. It's like, Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. He walks by and he's like, that's a big pile of shit.
No, this was for human feces. This was it was
where was it at?
It was just the Metro Expo and Blue Line. They at one point go underground, and as they come up out of the ground, there's like walkways on both sides, and there was a grate right there, and someone just left a big pile of shit right there.
That was wow. Yeah.
It was healthy then, right?
I don't think it. Well.
It was dark, but I think that's just because the air had gotten to it.
But it was. That
was more diarrhea. It didn't look like a log.
No. The first was like, I don't mean to be gross, but the first was a couple solid, and then it kind of a mud pie.
Probably what was this? It's gonna sound weird, but I've had this where the solid's holding up the juicy stuff at the end.
Yeah.
You get the solid stuff out, and then the rest just kind of follows. And I think that's probably what happened.
Why are we ending it like this?
Just the thing of the person who just went out there,
the confidence to do it, right?
Dropped trout and took a wild shit.
If they had trout on,
took wild shit.
They probably did. I honestly don't think they did.
And that was a big pile of shit.
That was, and I kept saying it when we saw it. I was like, man, I can't believe it's still here, because in Vegas someone would have cleaned that up, because we're decent folks.
And it's like all brand new, like condos going up, 36-story tall condos. It's like a really nice.
And at the least someone could have put like a newspaper over it, but nah, man.
It was just a huge pile.
What if it was like a horse or something?
No, it couldn't have been. There's no
way.
horses there.
It was too small. It was. You know what? Now being in LA and being in Vegas. I mean, it sucks people being homeless, being in that situation, but the homeless people in Vegas seem a little bit more.
Well, but because I think it's not as concentrated. Like, we see the homeless, and then what ends up happening is they go wherever they sleep, and we don't see them.
Most of the time,
but when we were in LA, there was just, we go under a bridge, and there's people just intense, just tent city everywhere.
Well, you haven't. Well, have you been like near like Bonanza, like higher up, like
yeah.
Like, dude, if you take the wrong exit up there, dude, like you go under those bridges, dude, it's just not good, man.
Oh no, we saw not good.
Oh, we did. Yeah, Louis even picked up a stick. We were walking
In
LA, though.
in LA.
Yeah, it was-
I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some places
Like,
where
up closer, like the northern side of here in Vegas. There's like that's where they have what is it called?
like a tent city.
Not well.
Oh, Skid Row.
No. They what do they have?
The mission, like a kitchen, soup
Yeah,
kitchen.
the soup kitchen and stuff like that. Like up there, like oh man, it's crazy up there. Just how packed it is with the amount of people. Obviously, there's not enough. There's not enough. There's just literally not enough. That's just what it is. There's not enough housing for them people.
Well, rumor is, this is just a rumor, that Metro takes the homeless people and takes them out in the desert. And in the movie Casino, Robert De Niro says there's a lot of holes in the desert. I'm just saying what I heard. I'm not.
Me too.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Drunk Weekends LV podcast is produced every Saturday for your enjoyment. Come back often.
Except not today.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Drunk Weekends LV.
Oh, yeah.
And at facebook.com/drunkwekendslv. The show is also available to watch on YouTube every Saturday. So that's it. Cut it.
All right.